Welcome to Table Mannerz Podcast.
Table Mannerz.
Create your own lane with your host, Emmett Combs and Tremaine Wright.
Us against the world, let's get it.
As they share conversations about real estate,
Invest in things that you understand.
life,
I had to believe in myself like never before.
passion,
Make something you 100% love.
and career with influential people in our community. This is Table Mannerz Podcast.
Welcome, man. Welcome back to our Table Mannerz Podcast. I am Emmett Combs, and we have here co-host
Tremaine Wright, and our special guest, Mr. Frazier with Unities.
Absolutely. What's up, man? How you doing?
Man, blessed. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm just happy to be here.
Awesome, man. Look, I like that shirt.
Like yours as well, my brother.
I told him that you can replicate these shirts, because the Media 9 shirts are just like this too as well, because we need some new orders anyway, because everybody keep on asking us on our calls when we get some more shirts in.
Yeah, I seen Tremaine when he came into the T-shirt shop, and I let him know off rip, man. It was something special about the Media 9. Once I seen it, God just gave me a vision that, it was beautiful, successful.
Gotcha. Okay, then. So, Table Mannerz, our biggest topic is about really what it's about creating your own lane, and, the one thing about you, I sat down and talked with you because you and the other guy sound just alike, really. So, just getting your background or whatnot, I feel like you would be a good person to come on the show and talk about creating your own lane, how you guys, how you have Unities, just explain about how you created your own lane and being at the part you at right now.
Man, let's get very deep, my brother. Very, very deep. I did about 4.5 years in prison. When I did about 4.5 years in prison, my wife, she started creating T-shirts. And when she started creating T-shirts, she started sending me photos of T-shirts. So when she started sending me photos of T-shirts, it caught my attention. So when it caught my attention, I said, hold on, wait, this can be very big. And she was just like, yeah, I've been doing it just out my house. And when she was telling me she was doing it at her house, me thinking, I'm like, hey, whoa, hold on, wait 1 minute. We could take this to another level. We open up one location, and we open up one location. We open up a second location, and we open up a second location. Everything was going well. It was actually going too well because it was overwhelming just for both of us. So we got a staff, as you see, the other guy. Me and him sound just alike because, we very close. We very close, and I do my best to train them well, and my wife do the same. But with Unities, man, my wife have a passion for making customers smile. That's the reason why she named the business Unities, because she all about bringing families, companies, schools, organization together in unity.
Oh, unity.
Yeah.
That is. I was about to ask you that where y'all came up with the name Unities. So unity, that makes really good sense. Mm-hmm. So go ahead, Kevin.
So how have you guys created your own lane and created the success over the years?
Oh, man, it's been a journey, my brother. It's been a journey because we have a lot of competitors out there. And with a lot of competitors out there, we known all over. We known all over Orlando, surrounding counties. Mm-hmm. We even ship orders to other countries. And with that being said, my brother, it wasn't a walk in the park.
I can only imagine.
I can imagine
so
that.
What challenges, because I know what challenges we have in our industry, but what challenges do you have in your T-shirt industry?
The challenges that we have is, not bragging and boasting, but not the small companies, the major corporations. Because, the major corporations, once somebody come in and order a bundle of T-shirts, they can give you the T-shirts on pennies. They can give you, so it's hard to really compete with that. So with that being said, me and my wife, we had to come up with different strategies, how we can not really compete, but how we can just fit in with the major corporations.
Got it.
And once we decided that, we invested into new equipment. And when we invested into a new equipment, we spent about thousands, probably about $50,000 investing into some new equipment. And when we spent that money, it was my fault because I even went and did some stuff that was, I'm ridiculous. I took I'm not scared to share this because, if I experience something, I want to share it with my brothers so they won't make the same mistake.
Got it.
I took a second mortgage out on our home. And when I took a second mortgage out on our home, we purchased the equipment. We spent about $50,000 in equipment. We had the equipment sitting for 2 years, and I made 1 red cent off it. So my wife, she would just every day, yeah.
So how? Hold on. So who took the first step forward in saying, look, we finna mortgage our home? And who came up with the idea of acquiring $50,000 worth of equipment without a plan of usage?
My brother, I'm not sad to say this again. I'm not sad to say this again, my brother. It was my lack of experience, and with my lack of experience, I was eager and hungry to expand the business.
Got it.
So I heard from good friends that was in the t-shirt industry, and they was like, "Oh, you get into DTG, direct to garment printing."
Make sure you're speaking to the mic.
Oh, sorry about that.
There you go.
They like, "Oh, you get into DTG, direct to garment printing. You take your business to a whole nother level." So I just went to shopping around, just at home, online, looking at companies that offer DTG machines. So we found the company Codesi over in Tampa. And when we found Codesi over in Tampa, I told my wife, "Hey, that's short. That's right around the corner. Tampa's on it 45 minutes, an hour away. And we can drive over there, once a day to take classes to learn this equipment." And that's what I did.
Got it.
That's what I did. I took a bunch of courses to get it figured out. And once I took a bunch of courses to get it figured out, this was get really deep at, because once I can't get it figured out, I was like, hey, we got $50,000 to invest. Now, if a customer come, and Tremaine know this, if a customer come into our shop and they spending $10 with us and something not right, we're going to fix it. So with that being said, we spent $50,000 with this company, and I'm like, hey, I took classes, course after course. So I'm operating the machine the same way I was taught to operate the machine in class, and it's not producing the way that it was producing when I was in class. So I was like, how could we get this resolved? And they gave me the runaround till I sort of kind of got it figured out now, but it's still just $50,000 just on hold, like pause.
So y'all still not utilizing the machine, right?
Yes. What?
Still not utilizing the machine.
What, the DTG mean?
The DTG machine.
Really?
Yes.
Dang. All them shirts y'all be doing?
All the shirts we be doing is just straight off manpower, man.
So I got. I want to go back to you. You said you did revert back to it. You said you did 4 years and then got out. Did that make you more hungry when you got out?
Absolutely, my brother. It made me hungry because I felt like I was robbed 4.5 years of my freedom, 4.5 years of my life, and actually I was one of those individuals that was unlawfully convicted.
Really?
Yeah.
Just like the movie with Robert B. Jordan, No Mercy. Mm-hmm. A lot of people not unconvicted, wrongfully convicted in jail and they got out. Also, that happened to you?
Yeah, that happened to me, and that's why I'm eager to really, help in the community, man. And it was a pleasure for me to be here tonight because it's just only the beginning, my brother. It's going to get greater because, I trust in God with everything that I do. I put Him first.
That's on the way to go.
Absolutely. You got to put God first. So what challenges, did you face any challenges after serving your time? What challenge you face after that?
Man, it was rough for me, man, because when I got out of prison, man, it was just like I barely didn't even exist in the world because my driver's license was took, and I had to pay probably about $25,000 just to get a driver's license back.
What?
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Why so much money to get your license back?
Well, I had actually, I'm not going to sit here and play the good guy role because, I had an accident, and it was about maybe 10 years ago when I had an accident. Well, now it's been over 10 years. At the time when I was incarcerated, it probably had been 10 years. They put a judgment out on me because when I was in prison, I couldn't respond to the judgment. So They actually just stuck me with it. And I was hit with about $75,000 worth of collections.
What? Wow. Well, it's a blessing that you got your license. You got your license back now?
No, they actually revoked again, man.
So hold on. So how did you get over here?
I got a ride here. Tremaine my witness. Tremaine my witness. Yeah, Tremaine my witness. He actually walked to the door and seen me getting dropped down. I'm strictly by the book, my brother. I like to do everything decent in order.
Time out. So they still won't let you get your license still?
Man, I'm still fighting, man.
How many years it's been?
Well, they just been revoked probably about 6 to 7 months now. Because, due to the pandemic and things like that, I'm an electrician also.
Okay.
So due to the pandemic, I got laid off from my job because we was all out of work with the electrician. So that's what just made me ego, because everybody on the electrician job know that we have our own company print T-shirts. And I let my wife run the T-shirt company while I went to bring some extra funds to our home.
Yeah, makes sense.
With electrical, and the pandemic hit. It messed me all up, my brother, to be honest.
Man, trust me, man. Everybody going through the same. We in real estate, so we definitely know exactly the impact of COVID and individuals that was about to get a house and also wasn't able to get a house the next day or close to closing just because of the pandemic. People lost their jobs, so we seen it. We seen it firsthand. Mm-hmm. Exactly what you just mentioned, what you're going through. We definitely see it. But I'm definitely glad you are here, man, and we getting this story shared so people can see this and be inspired by
yes,
it.
Sir, most definitely.
I think one of the most important things to take from just the little part of the story that you shared thus far is just, life is gonna throw you curveballs.
Yeah,
exactly, my brother.
You know what I mean?
All
and
day.
some of them you can hit, some of them you won't be able to hit. But it's all about what you do when you put the bat down.
That's right.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
You pick it back up.
So, you know what I mean? Like, and that's what it's about. Some people, they strike out and they never want to get back on the plate again.
That's right.
So and a lot of times people strike out and they may have gotten a walk, but the umpire called it wrong. So when you see a situation where the umpire might have misjudged a pitch, how do you take that? Do you take it because you strike out, you go sit on the end of the bench, you don't want to get back up on the plate? Why? Because life's not fair. The umpire is calling the judge in the favor of the pitcher. Or do you get back up and you learn how to just get on base? Whether you got to bunt at balls that that you could have got a walk, but you're not going to leave the judgment and you're not going to leave the judgment to the umpire to make that call. And so I like that like spark something for me, because I know a lot of people, and I know my past. There's a lot of people that I can line up that could be side by side with me, but they was impacted by the way the umpire made that judgment call, and they never did get back up to the plate.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yes.
And so that's what should be inspiring to people that hear your story. You know what I mean? You get back up to the plate and you're motivated.
Correct.
You know what I mean? You motivated to persevere. So what I want to know is that how did you guys create your own lane? How did you guys go against the grain, create a separation from the small mom and pops? Because clearly you started from your home.
Mm-hmm. Correct, my brother. And we started from the home, like I explained to you earlier. Mm-hmm. She used to send me photos of some T-shirts that she was printing when I was in prison, sitting in the cell. And sitting in the cell in prison, you got a lot of time to yourself just to think. Because that's when I actually found God, when I was in prison. Because I had time to pick up my Bible and read it. See, when I was out, I wasn't, really concerned about reading my Bible. But back to create my own lane, creating our lane and unities in the T-shirt business, it was rough, man. My wife, she was in the house, like I say, printing T-shirts, and she had all friends and even customers come to her. And when the customers come to her, they would get their T-shirts and they would examine them. They would be like, maybe she make a lot of money. Maybe we can print T-shirts on our own.
And they go and try to knock off.
And they go and try to get customers that they know is our loyal customers. Because all of our customers, we establish business relationships with them. That's like with Tremaine. He established a business relationship with us. Because once a customer come back repeatedly, that's a relationship. Correct. So if that's a relationship, this part of creating our lane, we treat that customer as family. He no longer a customer. We establish a business relationship. And once we start doing that all around with all of our customers in the city, that's what separated us from the other businesses. That's what made us in the lane that we in right now. That's what really made our lane, because we treat customers like family. Hey, if you come to us and you spend your hard-earned money that you work for, everybody, when not to say you would do this, Emmett, but if you go to a place and spend some money, 9 times out of 10, everybody want to know the owner. Everybody want to know the boss.
Yep.
So if you're a good boss, somebody come to your business and they spend money with your business, they put money in your family pocket. They put food on your family table. So when they put food on your family table, you're going to treat them with respect. You're going to treat them with love. It's not just about the dollar. Because if it was about the dollar, you know, I ain't have to treat you with no love. When Tremaine walked in that door, it could have just been about $1. Hey, he just spending another $1. I ain't got to sit down and talk with him for 30 minutes and show love and show him that he appreciated with spending his money. Because that's why, you know, the society the way it is right now today, because we need more brothers like us. How y'all invite me on this podcast, man, and I'm talking about, it's beautiful for me. I don't know if y'all know how much it meant to me, man, but it meant a lot to me. You know, a young brother out the hood, you know, made his way, because I had to make, like, back to create your own lane. Mm-hmm. Me and my wife had to make our way in the business world, because right now our friends, I had some friends in the hood. They used to always tell me, "Oh, it's good to have friends in high places." They used to just joke around because they knew the things that I was doing. I was succeeding off of those things. So they're like, "Oh, it's good to have friends in high places." But right now, through the grace of God, me and my wife, we got friends in high places, and really, really high places. That's a blessing. Because with taking that second mortgage out on our home, what I told y'all about earlier, it wasn't so bad, because our friend, it was our friend who I took the $50,000 mortgage out, and our friend, he was actually a white guy. He helped us buy our first home. You know, he helped us invest money into our business. So that's why I was explaining to you earlier.
That's great.
I was explaining to Emmett earlier, Tremaine, before you even came into the room, before we started up, that all white people ain't bad people.
Well, you know what?
We was having this conversation, and we both, you know, we identify with the same. You know, because it's more of an understanding and the controlled narrative that people try to put out there. Like, you know, it's two sides to every story. You know,
you're correct.
So, for instance, you know, like, You have a whole lot going on with police and whatnot, right? Yeah. Well, and we know a lot of police. You know, my brother's an ex-police officer. We know a lot of police officers that, you know, are good people.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? But just like when there's a bad situation that go on, all the police officers put into one pool.
Everything get amplified.
Same thing with our black community. When somebody does something wrong, right? The narrative is pointed that all of us are in the same. So therefore, we get judged as one when we have a confrontation with a police officer or anybody else. Like, we get judged as one, but we all are not like the last person that you may have had an encounter with. You know what I mean? Correct. So everybody have to look at everything from a right perspective, because the narrative is being controlled.
Correct.
And we have to be the ones to paint our own narrative. And like we had a discussion about, you know, in order for us to change the paradigm of other people, how they view us, we have to respond different.
And we have to get right within.
Yeah, we have to get right within, and we have to respond different.
We have to be our brother's keeper. Hey, man, what my brother is doing is wrong. Hey, I'm not going to be scared to challenge my brother on something that he's doing wrong. Hey, bro, you're doing it wrong. This is the correct way to do it. And if you do it this way, this would be the outcome.
See, the thing is, a lot of us are not doing that.
Correct.
Absolutely. We're not trying to help our brothers out, you know, and that's the biggest issue. And just when y'all said, you know, I growing up, I went to a white school, I went to a white college. I played.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
And to be honest with you, I really never had an issue with racism, anything growing up, period. I stayed in a white neighborhood, never did. I got a lot of white friends, still to this day, all the time. I do deals with everybody. I never really had an issue in that racism, and never dealt with that really growing up. I see it all the time, but like you said, man, everybody has to work together. Everybody has to own it. I think that's the biggest thing. Everybody's pointing blame at everybody else besides owning what's going on, and everybody collectively coming together and finding out how can we make this work together and figure out what the cause is. And I think, once that happens, I think things will, get a lot better.
Yes, sir.
And,
most
that's just my opinion, I don't really talk about stuff like that because, I like to sit. I sit back on the sidelines and look at, see how everything goes. I let Emmett do all the talking.
Okay.
Look.
Okay.
See.
Okay.
I think a lot of that, and a lot of the finger pointing and a lot of the control narrative, a lot of this stuff is created and occurred because people have a false imagery of what they're shooting for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so in saying that is that people allow other people to control, what success looks like or what the expectation of what they're supposed to do, how they're supposed to do it. You know what I mean? How you're supposed to treat your brother, what I'm expecting from you. Because in this business, like, I've seen it all. You know what I mean? I've seen it all. And to be honest with you, I've seen racism from my own kind. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Correct. And the most disrespectful of the racism from my own kind, somebody who sat right in front of me. Correct. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so, when I speak from a wide angle lens because I see it from all angles, and especially being from where I'm from, where you're dealing with a community that half is like a crab in a bucket, half is like. They want to see you succeed, but they don't want to be the one to help you succeed.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And then the other ones want to cheer you on, but they're cheering you just to get close enough to figure out what you're doing so they can try to knock you off.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So I see it from a very wide angle lens, and I smile. No matter which one I'm in, I smile. My intentions are the same. My heart is the same, and I let God handle everything. But I don't comply with nobody's other vision of what I should be.
Correct.
Absolutely. I just don't. I don't allow nobody to control my narrative. I don't allow nobody to control my vision, my angle, my goals, anything. I can care less what other people think about what we do. We have one mission and one goal, and as long as you're on my team, I feel the same about you if you was living in my house. Same thing.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so, and I treat everybody the same. It doesn't matter what color you are when you're sitting at the table. You still family. It doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
Correct. As long as you're on this table, you're family.
Absolutely.
Now you go outside them doors, you're not at this table. I ain't got no love for you.
Right. That's the way it's supposed to be, my brother. That's the way it's supposed to be. And once it's that way, Emmett, people will be able to respect you. And, some of them, just because they respect you don't mean they're going to like you.
100%. And we, as business owners, and people of profession and people who have things that they have to stand up and represent every single day, you can't allow other people's judgment upon you affect what you do and how you do it daily. You know what I mean?
Right.
I make certain comments on posts and social media and whatnot, and I may make them very casually and whatnot, but I mean it wholeheartedly. A lot of things don't judge yourself. Don't judge yourself by somebody else's goals and what they're doing. Don't judge yourself by that. It could be we all could have the same business at this table. You know what I mean? And I honestly want everybody to succeed. Mm-hmm. Regardless of what other people narrative going to try to make us be in competition with each other. That's what other people want because they don't want any of us to succeed.
Correct.
So they want us to, get all focus of what our goals really should be and want us to be in competition with each other.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Instead of, hey, you can succeed because at the end of the day, we all have a different type of impressional impact that we can make in our own lanes, regardless.
Correct.
But I think they don't want, and other people don't want you to see that or realize that and really, grow to, really fulfill what your true obligation is in this world. They want you to get sidetracked. Everybody's looking for the mess. Everybody's looking for the hot story about how everything fell apart, all the drama that's taking place. But, I want people to continue to tune in to what we're doing because they're not going to find that.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. That's right, my brother.
It's not gonna happen.
That's right. And like I say, man, you know, I'm just grateful, man. Grateful to meet two good brothers, man, because, you know, it's hard to meet good brothers, man. You know, right now.
It is, man.
Yeah,
it is.
I got small. I only deal with. To be honest, I only deal with like people at the brokerage and Kevin on the outside. And somebody.
It's a small. It's a small circle, you know.
Right.
But even though, like, you know, I try to work on myself on getting out and meeting people and whatnot, but you still have to be careful. You have to be careful because you got to protect your energy. You know what I mean? You have to protect your energy, and that's why it's so. Energy. Yeah, and like for you, you know, for you to be thriving in this type of business, I look up. There's a lot of people who have, you know, t-shirt businesses or whatnot, but you never see anybody rise above the crowd, you know what I mean, like yourself, you know what I mean? So it's very unique that, you know, a business able to, you know, sort of drown the noise, so to speak, you know what I mean? And then stay focused on your goals and knowing what challenges you had to come. You didn't let those challenges and setbacks hold you back, you know what I mean? And like, I feel that if we all focus on our own goals, you know what I mean? You can look yourself in the mirror, smile, be proud of what you've overcome, and you can say to yourself, I am enough. You know what I mean? We can be the major, you know, Fortune 500 company that the smaller brands look up to because we are enough. You know what I mean? We are enough.
We get that all the time, man. We get it all the time. Everybody, they come and make jokes. Hey, man, y'all might as well just put all the other T-shirt companies around Orlando on y'all team and let them just work under y'all. Like, it'll be like a franchise. But, you know, my wife be like, oh, no. I cannot have my name on somebody else's mess, and I respect her for that. Because, you know, the people ain't going to put the energy into, you know, serving the people the way we put our energy into serving the people. We put our all into serving the people. See, you know, we put God first. And when you put God first, He gonna make sure you do good.
Correct.
So with that being said, man, you know, we just blessed. We done seen a lot in the t-shirt field because we done seen major corporations. We done seen them like the $50,000 hit that I took. Oh man, we done seen them take hits with M's with millions, and we seen them take hits with millions. They go in distress and they just be like, just this.
But I would say one thing. Sorry to cut you off. You know, because y'all are in Pine Hills. How well has the community been helping you guys out since you're there? Y'all in a great location to me.
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you, Jermaine. The way we get help, sad. Very sad, man. I'm talking about I had some devastating times in that t-shirt shop. I had some good times in there, but I had more down times than good times.
Really?
Just seeing the young kids that we have to put their face on the shirt, you know, just seeing kids that's the age of my daughter that's being murdered, that's being brutally gunned down in my community where I come from. See, it took me years and years and years of just sitting back like, hey, I'm not in the streets no more. I don't live the street life. But I was wrong. The reason why I was wrong, by me not opening my mouth and by me not voicing my opinion with somebody seeing me living in my mess that I could have influenced to do the right thing. Because if they be like, hey, boy, if Johnathan did it, if he changed his life, boy, I know there is a God and I know I can change mine too. So with that being said, man, just the kids, that hurt me the most, man. Just putting these kids 18, 16, 15 on a t-shirt.
Man, well, I never really thought about that. There is, because my wife's she's from Orlando, and our daughters, you know, they know everybody because kids on the social media. It used to be at one point, like every week, one of their friends died, or somebody they know on social media, they know that died, and like as you mentioned, all their faces on shirts, all the time. And that is sad. I never thought about that, you know, how sad that could be, especially where you at. I know everybody comes there because you go-to t-shirt company. Everybody's coming to you to get the shirts done, and you see it consistently. I can see how sad that can be because you're saying there's no change being made with these kids, nobody influencing these kids, no leader that's letting them know there's another way.
But it changed, Jermaine. It has changed. You know, for this past week, it's very fresh, but for this past week, I've been stepping up, man. I've been letting God use me.
Oh, that's
Because God blessed me with a ministry, man, and I have a ministry, Rome ministry, that's launching very, very soon, and it's called Respect of All Men.
Amen.
No matter what color you is, no matter what race you is,
I like that.
respect of all men, and that's what I want to get my race to understand. Hey, we people of color, we've been down here, we've been at the bottom for so long, but now it's time to change. With the police brutality, with the murder of George Floyd, that gave African Americans some leeway in America, and the reason why they gave us some leeway in America, because right now, for the first time in I don't know how many years, people are starting to really understand the hurt, the pain, the frustration that African Americans go through. But what I encourage my people to do is not to get out and break in buildings, burn buildings. Because, when we do stuff like that, they hurt Emmett, they hurt Tremaine, they hurt me.
Correct.
100%.
Because we're losing, because people looking at us in a different light.
Yeah.
And, we do things correctly and not doing things in that manner. We lose on people that affects our household at the end of the day.
And
I have to step in, and it takes leadership. It takes leadership for one. It really doesn't matter what other people do when if they don't align with you. It doesn't matter what they do. No, it's not right, and yes, it's a bad representation of us. But it takes more of us being leaders, because what happened in a lot of instances where you have people of color who gain financial stability, wealth, or whatnot, they relocate themselves, and distance themselves so far away from the community that they don't have ties to be that leader in the community for people to look up to. And then every time somebody do see that face, a leader, what do they have on? They have on a skirt, or they doing something that, again, misrepresenting the culture as a whole. But that's the narrative that's being painted. And so it's important for leaders within the community to stay connected with the community, to, as you start to, to raise up. A lot of times they say, oh, but you have to leave the community if you want to stay safe. But it's not about leaving the community, or, it's about, staying impactful in the community. And you can do that by supporting other local businesses. You can do that by starting ministries and within the community. You can do that by uplifting your other brothers and sisters, whether it be by hiring them, by mentorship, by just or being a good role model and staying somewhat connected to where your image still has an impact locally. So it's up to us to not be so distant from the community that needs us so dearly, because we're so quick to go in and uproot ourselves and get as far away from it as possible. You know what I mean? But okay, we made it out. But honestly, you made it out, but you turned your back on a whole generation that needs you. They need that leadership. They need that influence. They need to know that there's true role models out here that came from the same roots, the same grounds that they came from. So they could change, you know what I mean? They could change. It's all about how you respond to things. No, you wake up, everything is not going to be given to you on a silver platter. So nobody expect you to pass around dishes on a silver platter. You know what I mean? But yes, you got to play with the cards that the life gave you. But at the same time, you can make lemonade out of lemons. You know what I mean?
That's right.
It can be done. But you can't fall into the false paradigm that other people want you to try to live up to. You have to stay connected with your community. You have to stay structured and aligned with your vision. You have to stay where people need you. Like, for instance, I go to church on Sundays, right? And I'm one of the people who I'm consistent. I'm very structured, very consistent. I don't need to, go to church to read my Bible. I don't need to go to church to pray. I don't need to go to church to pay my tithes and dues. But I go because if I want to be the president and the person there. Therefore, if there's only one other person of my age of somebody that looks like me, and when they see me there, I want them to know that yes, it's a place of comfort. Yes. There are us, because without my presence, there are other people who may be looking for somebody else to identify with in that same environment. They may stop coming because they probably feel that nobody else of their age is, in the church. Nobody else believes in God. So, like we're looking for a false hope. So I go for support. I go for, for that person to see me and identify. I'm like, oh, it's another young brother that go to church.
It's always the small things. That's like very little. That's something very small you would never think about.
But I think
it has a lot of impact though.
And when I see them, I make it my business to speak to them and just say, "Hey, how you doing?" And I know you met Dre, but that's how we met Dre. I seen him at church, and I made it my business to go and speak to him.
Oh, that's how we met. Dude.
That's how we met. That's how we met. Jay, the barber.
Thanks.
Same thing.
Oh, at the church.
Yeah.
Oh.
At the church. But I be making it my business to go and
shake
speak.
Hands,
check in and speak to them, fellowship, and let them know that, and we're doing good business in the community. It's, because we fellowship outside the church.
Correct. I wanted to thank y'all for having me here tonight, man, and everybody, man, if it's okay, man, to let everybody know we located at 2620 North Hiwassee Road in Orlando, Florida.
You better tell them, because I'm going to tell them.
32818. If y'all live in Orlando and y'all need t-shirt printing, come see us, Unities, man. Inside Max Plaza, D3. Look for Johnathan or Shamar, and we got you.
Got it. What about the social media? They can find your social media? Social media,
y'all can find us Unities, PERLLC. Yeah, and that's on Facebook and that's on Instagram as well. But Tremaine, my brother, because you're my brother who I met that came and done a lot of business with us. I appreciate you for having me here. I'm the co-founder and Emmett. Man, it's been a blessing, my brother.
Absolutely blessing. Yeah. We're going to talk after this because I got to get some orders lined up.
I appreciate y'all, my brother. Man, it's been all love here tonight, man.
I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, we appreciate you, boss, man. We out, man. That's Table Mannerz for you.